It's Thursday, October 2nd. Just wanted to follow up on Netflix. I'm long out of this trade. I bought puts here early on and I was able to take a small gain. But you can see here at a key inflection point, this green line, it now has kind of pretty broadly moved higher from those lows earlier in the day. So this is a good example. I just wanted to point out of context and knowing and looking at price action and everything else. If you look at the daily chart, I knew this was like a, third day in a row to the downside towards this target here. So all these, anything in terms of selling Netflix the day before, yesterday, and today to hit this target were good trades. Then when you hit a target, this could be a key area here where it pauses or slices right through. And I thought it had a chance to slice right through, given that it started to do that. The market itself, here's the SPY, is weak today. This was one of the weaker stocks, even though there's a momentum play. So I thought there was a good chance, to get this thing following through even stronger to the downside once it broke through this key green line. So I bought puts here on bar number 2, and then obviously had a whole hour to figure out what was going on. I knew the premiums were pretty high on this option, and I described how I scaled out to set up a no-risk trade just in case. I know this is a key inflection area, and I also knew that the options were, had a lot of premium built in, and if it didn't follow through immediately, that was going to kind of shrink away. So anyway, I exited the trade. I described that in the first few videos if you want to watch those again. And here's an example of what could happen, at key inflection points if we don't get the immediate follow through or the orderly pause here, and then, an attempt to follow through. If you saw this big green bar and wanted to call that a potential key reversal area, I don't play it that way. You could have bought it here in the 1146 area, and you got all the way up to 1160 already within a half hour. So that's something to consider if you just want to be aggressive and understand price action. But anyway, I just kind of play the if I'm below the midpoint of the prior day, I'm not looking to buy. And if this becomes a reversal bar, I can consider maybe buying tomorrow, depending how price action opens and everything. But just wanted to follow up again. Netflix, I bought those 1150 puts at 1877. I scaled out at 21 at 1993, took a gain, and you can see they're all the way down to 835 now. So that's what could happen, in terms of, if you, if a trade doesn't immediately follow through, you just have to have the risk management to get out. So in this case, just wanted to point out, that I kind of knew it was an aggressive momentum trade. I knew this was a key pivot area. I watched price really closely. I wanted to be I scaled out quickly because I just didn't want to, risk this potential reversal happening. And it could have actually, after this little pause here, kind of worked all the way down to the next target. And it still might do that by the end of the day. This should just be a big volatile pause area because the market is still pretty weak right here. So it's not like I see Netflix, really having a big reversal day. But in terms of just the volatility, just wanted to point out, how I kind of look at risk management and context and everything else. And at the moment, this could be it might just hold the midpoint essentially of this first bar, reverse on this bar and start all the way down there again. I don't know. It's not the type of orderly pullback that I would want to play to test those lows anymore. But, it's just we'll see how the day ends up on Netflix. And again, this could be, if it just pauses here in the days ahead and can't get a major reversal, I still think we're heading down to, the next couple of targets here, this green line and then 1100 area type of thing, if this market wants to stay weak. So keep an eye on this one to the downside. If this becomes a key reversal area, you'll know it on the daily and weekly charts. But if not, it could just be a pause and have a lot of potential to go a lot lower if we break through this key pivot. And there's a lot of, targets below if this market wants to really get weak into October.